In this video, I want to introduce you to a Tanto knife you've probably never heard of. Man, this thing's a great find. Stick around. I hope everybody's doing well. Thank you for taking time to click on this video. I hope you find it helpful and resourceful. Let's get rolling. For the longest time, I've had my eyes on the Boker Magnum Tanto knife. It's around 55 to 60 bucks depending upon where you get it from. It's just got a slick look to it and a great size, but I never pulled the trigger on it. I wasn't quite sure if I wanted to pay that price for it, and I also wasn't that big of a fan of the sheath. But it's hard to beat a good slick Tanto knife. There's a lot of popular ones out there, such as that Boker I just mentioned to you, the Kobun from Cold Steel. There's just a lot in that size range that are very popular. This one is from Mil Spec. Here's the box that it comes in. And I was able to find this on Arena Accessories site. Now, I don't know if you've ever gone out and visited Arena Accessories, but there are blades sold there that you won't find anywhere else. And I could not find this anywhere else but Arena Accessories. Let's take a look at it. Look at that, my friends. Got those G10 scales, that stone wash blade. This thing's running about 30 bucks right now, which is about $25 to $30 cheaper than the Boker Magnum. This is just a really good looking piece. It's 10 inches in overall length. It's got a 5-inch blade there. Look at that slicing piercing machine. It's about 7 ounces in weight, 7.9 with the blade and the sheath. Let's look at the sheath. Comes with this nylon sheath, but I'll tell you what I like so much about this is how minimalistic it is. It just doesn't look real big hanging off on the side. It's just big enough to fit the blade, and it's actually a pretty discreet side carry for side carry type sheaths. I know some are not into these nylon sheaths, but the one thing about these, they're never going to dull your blade. And like I said, man, this one's very compact and minimalistic. Hangs off the side really well. Here's the belt loop for it. This comes with a 1065 surgical stainless steel. And that steel is plenty durable and good for what this is. This is not a bushcraft blade, so you're not necessarily looking for a type of steel that you can beat the tar out of. It does come super sharp. All right, let's get into the practical application of a knife like this, and this one in particular. As I mentioned, these are not bushcraft or work knives. People buy these knives because they're thinking combat. They're thinking self-defense, and that is the allure with a knife like this. One of the first things I notice and like about this is, being a right-handed guy, this hangs on my side this way, which means if I pull this out in the ice pick grip, I've got this slant to rest my thumb on. I think that's a great feature, but I also like how the blade is turned on the inside, giving me the ability to do some reverse edge methodology. For those unfamiliar with reverse edge, it's very simply put. A lot of times, you see people holding the knife like this. The knife is on the outside. Well, having it this way, the blade is on the inside. Now, they make a lot of knives that are already set like this, like the clinch pick, the Disciple from Shivworks, the Tops Unzipper. There's just a lot of them out there that have that reverse edge. But when you pull this from the right side, it pulls this way based on the way this thing sits down in the sheath, which means the reverse edge is already on the inside for me. I do like that. And the thing about reverse edge that's so great is when you're piercing, you're pulling with very strong muscles. So that's a great feature for the ice pick grip with this particular Tanto knife. A sheath like this can slow you down, so you just want to practice your deployment. This button, you've got to pop this thing before you can pull it out. But, a lot of times if you sense danger, you can go ahead and start getting things ready. Now, from the left side, it's not quite as good because it hangs this way, and you'd pull the ice pick and it would be in this very uncomfortable position. You'd have to switch it around really quick to get it to that point. So I just want to show you the difference between right-handed and left-handed draw with the ice pick. But the right-handed ice pick draw is great because your thumb's resting in the right position. It's nice and comfortable, and you have that reverse edge methodology that you can use. Now, with traditional grip right-hand side, I'm pulling it and drawing it this way. Now, it does have a little bit of hand guard there, but not much. Some are not going to like that, but a lot of these are built that way. The Boker Magnum is built the exact same way. You just have to, get a nice tight grip on this and utilize this jimping. Again, it's not a lot of hand guard on that, but it is a little bit. And I'm even going to do a little bit of testing as far as what it feels like to jam this thing into something hard in the traditional grip from a thrust. I got a pretty tough piece of wood right here. I'm going to do a traditional grip thrust utilizing this handle and this jimping as much as possible. I'm doing this test because in real life you can crash against bone, you can crash against things that are hard. And if you like to hold in the traditional grip, which is good for your slashing and jabs and things like that, but the thing with traditional grip is the thrust option, because you can thrust from different directions holding it this way. You know, with ice pick, you know, you can also thrust, which with this knife I prefer ice pick with that reverse edge coming on the inside. But if you like to hold it in traditional grip, this has got a nice slash feature, but you can also thrust from this position, and I'm going to thrust into this hard grain. I'm going to start off kind of light, but I'm going to thrust in this way and just kind of see how this feels. Now, you want to get a good tight grip on the handle, and you want to utilize this jimping. I felt a little forward motion even with that light, but it did crash against that little knob right here, as you can see it. And, you know, it had some security to it, but the majority of my security was this jimping. So, you know, if you're gonna use traditional grip like this, always be cognizant of that jimping and have a nice firm grip on the handle. Let's go a little harder. Okay, it felt strong and secure, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't feel a whole lot of insecurity there, and I was thrusting in pretty hard that second time. So good grip on the handle, utilize your jimping, and this will give you a little bit of reinforcement. But to show you this first person view, you have an excellent length to work with as far as slicing is concerned. Whenever you review a blade like this, you got to get some drills in. If you carry something like this for self-defense, most states are going to require you to carry it openly. It's full tank construction, definitely going to be fun to throw. I wouldn't make this your primary throwing knife because you want to maintain the stinger aspect of this tip, because that's what it's designed for. I just think this is a very stylish, neat blade for this price. And as I mentioned before, I think there's only one place you can get this, and that's Arena Accessories. So I'll be dropping a link out there for you. Something like this will cost you a little bit less than a Magnum Tanto. It'll be less than the Boker Magnum version. Again, I just think it's a really cool blade, and I hope you enjoyed this review. As always, I look forward to catching you next time. Take care.